If you've been following me, you will know that I've done dozens and dozens of experiments trying to figure out all the nuances of making pizza dough. I've done all sorts of different recipes, long ferments, short ferments, warm ferments, cold ferments, Poolish, and for this experiment, it's been my biggest one yet. I made 5 different pizza dough balls, all using different recipes. I did my same day recipe, which is where the dough ferments at room temperature for about 5 hours. I did my stock recipe, which is an overnight fermentation in the fridge. I did a 3-night ferment in the fridge. I did a 5-day ferment in the fridge, and then I did my Poolish recipe. You can see they all look very, very similar, other than the Poolish, which has a much more dark brown on the crust. However, they all tasted different. My same day recipe, like expected, it was good but not great. You know, you're only going to develop so much flavor with the same day ferment. My base recipe, my stock recipe, the one I do the most often because it's easy and it's good, is the overnight fermentation in the fridge. This one had more flavor than the same day ferment, and the crust was very similar to the texture, consistency, crispiness, all that. It was very similar to the same day ferment. Moving up, the 3-day ferment tasted quite a bit better than the overnight ferment. Not only did it taste better, but the crust was actually chewier and stronger, and it was just a better all-around crust than the overnight ferment. Now I was curious because I've never compared a 3-day ferment to a 5-day ferment. I wanted to know how they were going to compare, and surprisingly, I couldn't really even tell the difference. They looked the same. The consistency of the crust was the same chewiness, same strength, and the taste, I just couldn't tell the difference. I spent a lot of time going back and forth between the 3-day and the 5-day crust, just slowly eating each one, and I couldn't tell a difference. I mean, the 5-day ferment might have tasted like 1% better or 5% better, but that's probably just my placebo effect, expecting it to taste better. But it probably tastes the exact same. If I was going to do a blind taste test, I don't think I could tell a difference. So I was a little bit surprised there. However, my Poolish recipe, I've never compared the Poolish recipe to the 3-day or 5-day ferment until now, and I was blown away. The Poolish recipe tasted so much better than the 3 and 5-day cold ferment. It wasn't even close. I mean, if I was going to do this in percentages, I would say if I'm starting off with the same day crust, I would say that the same day recipe, I'd say that the overnight recipe was like 50% better than the same day taste-wise. And then I would say the 3-day and 5-day ferment were like another 50% better than the overnight recipe. But then the Poolish recipe was like 100% better, 200% better than the 3 or 5-day. And it was so much more flavorful. It just was. I read a little bit about it. I'm going to really focus on making more dough out of Poolish now, and I'll share with you what I learned. I want to learn more about the science behind it, why it tastes much better. It just was. The dough had a very similar consistency when I was shaping it. So when I was shaping the pizza, I could tell that the 3 and 5-day and the Poolish were just so much stronger and stretchier than the same day and the overnight fermentation one. But the flavor in the Poolish it actually just blew me away. I couldn't believe how flavorful it was compared to the others. It's kind of like McDonald's French fries. You know, McDonald's French fries, I read they have like 19 ingredients in there. And that's why everybody loves them, because they put all sorts of stuff in there to enhance the flavor. They're putting beef stock and other things in the French fries. And they just taste so much different than a regular potato, 100% potato French fry tossed in hot oil. It just tastes different. Poolish, it tastes almost like that. It tasted so much better. You'd expect there to be all sorts of different ingredients in there, but there's not. There's the same 6 ingredients: flour, water, salt, yeast, instant yeast, olive oil, and sugar, and that's it. I'm surprised, shocked at how much flavor the 6 ingredients can produce. Totally blown away. So With that in mind, like I said, I'm gonna focus on Poolish a little bit more moving forward, do a few more experiments, try to find the best Poolish recipe. The one I got, I'm gonna put all these recipes in the description, by the way, for any of you who like. Oh, I wanted to mention though, when I had all the dough balls out right next to each other, I smelled them all to see how fragrant they were. And the fragrance directly corresponded with the flavor after they were cooked. So the same day dough ball, it just kind of smelled like flour. The overnight was a little bit better, had a little bit of fragrance smell. The 3 and 5 day smelled noticeably better than the overnight fermented one. But the Poolish dough ball, again, it was like 200% stronger fragrance than the ones 3 and 5 day ones. So that's something I learned. You can tell how good a crust is going to taste by how fragrant the dough smells. Okay, I know some of you are not going to believe me. I know a lot of guys are saying long ferments in the fridge are better. Well, try it. Try my recipes, make them side by side, and then let me know what you think. I would like to mention that flour does make a big difference. I use King Arthur flour for all these, and I've experimented with different brands of flour. King Arthur is simply the best tasting one I've come across yet. A lot of farmers or companies, big companies, the corporations that are farming wheat, a lot of them are engineering wheat to get a higher yield, but you're going to lose a lot of flavor with the high yield. And King Arthur doesn't do that. So you have all the flavor retained. So anyways, if you disagree with me, that's fine. Let me know. Send me your recipe and I'll do an experiment, put it on YouTube. And we'll compare. We're in this together. We're all trying to learn how to make the best possible pizza. So thanks for watching. Like I said, expect to see some more experiments on Poolish coming up. Thank you.